All right, welcome back to Adobe Lightroom Classic. And today we're going to be slipping on over here and taking a look at the crop tool, the clone and healing brush, and red eye reduction. Let's go ahead and jump into red eye reduction first because it's going to be the easiest. We're going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to bring up our red eye reduction. You will notice that we've got red eye and pet red eye. You'll notice down here it says drag from the center of the eye or click to use the current size. Now, look, if you know what you're doing as a photographer, you will never ever get red eye. I don't even have an image to use with the red eye because I don't ever get red eye. So this is really simple to use. All you need to do is come in here and either click and drag to make it the size of the pupil that we see here. This would obviously be too huge. Or you could simply do like they said and just go ahead and click it. Now it's unable to find red eye because we don't have any, but that's basically how you would use it. You would come in here, click on it. It would do its best to remove it. In this case, it's going to go ahead and let you adjust this and darken and lighten to try to fix that area. So let's go ahead and switch on over here to the crop tool. This is something that I think people are actually going to use. So when we click the crop tool, I think the first and most important thing here that everyone needs to know is the crop tool in Lightroom only changes the ratio of your image. And the ratio is this dimension and this dimension. For a full frame, 35 millimeter camera, this is a 3:2 ratio, 4:6 ratio, 6:9 ratio. All those ratios are exactly the same. That's the ratio that it's locking in. So if I change it to like this, it's not sizing the image, it's just changing the ratio, or in this case, it's just eliminating this area. Another thing that's important is when you work in Lightroom, everything is non-destructive. You're not actually physically adjusting or applying this to your photo. So I'll go ahead and crop this and I will apply it. And you can see that's our new crop. But if we come back to it, and whether it's today or 2 weeks from now, when you click on the crop tool, all that information is still there. You don't lose the rest of that information. It's still there. You can always get it back. What you're seeing is just a preview of what the image will look like before you export it. Now you'll notice that we have our guidelines here. This is the rule of thirds. And if we come over here, it says aspect ratio, original. We have as shot, which would be basically the same as original. And we have 2:3 because this ratio is a 2:3. You'll notice we have presets. So if we do a 1:1, it's going to change the ratio to square or a 1:1. If we wanted to size this to an 8:10, or which is also a 4:5, we can change this, okay? This is not sizing your image. It's just changing the ratio. Then we have some 16:9. It's giving you an example. Hey, 16:9 is the same ratio that you do HD video, which is 1920x1080. You can see down here, I've created two custom. So we have a 1:7, which you would probably never use, and a 1:10. If you wanted to create a custom one, you just go to enter custom. You would fill out the numbers that you want, and it would apply that there. In this case, we're just going to go to as shot, which was our original 2:3 ratio. Now, right now, if we were to crop this image, it's locked in that 2:3 ratio. Notice I can't make this square no matter what I do. Right? It's always going to be a ratio of 2:3. If you want to change that, you can come over here to the lock that we see right here and click on it. Now it's unlocked, and that is going to let us freeform or change this to anything we want. It's not going to be stuck in the 2:3 ratio unless we click the lock back again and it's on as shot. The next thing that we have here is angle. All right. The first thing we can do is click auto. And what this is going to try to do is level out horizon lines or anything that it sees that might be askew, meaning crooked. So if I hit auto, it might shift a little bit and it's trying to align that. Now, just because it aligns it doesn't mean that it did it accurately. So you can come in here and further adjust this by sliding this slider. That's one way. You can also go outside of the crop box. So if you notice the crop box that we have here, we've got the little hand. When I go outside, we get what I call the flippy flop arrows. And those are arrows, one pointing to the left and one pointing to the down at 90 degrees. When you left click and hold, you get that same adjustment that we had down here on the angle, and you'll see the angle sliding. So that's another way to do the same thing. You can also click on this level and bring it in here, and you can drag it along any line that you want it to level something off. So if I want to use this post here to level that off, I can left click, drag down, let go, and it's going to level according to that. That didn't work. I can come over here and I can level according to the top of the fence. So that's letting us change the angle. Down here, we've got a little button to constrain to the image. So it's only allowing you to adjust this to the image once you go outside of it. So if you go up here like this, and we go down here like this, and we do constraint to image, and I try to control this, notice it's not letting you go outside of that box. That's what it's telling you to do. If you go into Photoshop, you can actually crop outside of the box. So those are the basics of cropping inside of Photoshop. Now there's a couple extra little things. So let's go ahead and hit reset. And we've got this image here. You'll notice if I grab the top left-hand corner and I'm on a ratio, it's going to drag and crop down from that point. If I go to this side, it's going to do it from that point. If I go to the bottom, it's going to do it from that area. If you want it to come in equidistant from this point, this point, this point, this point, on a Mac, you're going to hold the Option key. And if you're on a PC, I'm assuming it's the Alt. And you would drag and you can see it comes in equidistant from all areas. Right? Once again, that is Option on a Mac and probably Alt on a PC. So that's how you crop in from a specific location. All right, so let's go ahead and hit escape. That's basically the crop tool. All right, so I've cleared out the crop tool. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the clone stamp tool. And what I'm going to do is actually reset this because I want this information up here. So I'm going to click on the little Band-Aid, and that's going to bring up the clone stamp and the healing brush. And these work different. The clone is going to, if I wanted to remove this line, I would basically paint over this line. And then the computer is going to pick an area to replace it with. The healing brush works a little bit different. If you paint over an area, that's the area you're going to remove, but it's looking at the area around it to replace it with. So what happens is in the area right here, both will work very good because it's got basically the same thing all around it. If you use the healing brush on this edge, it's also going to see this dark area and it might bring some of the dark out here to replace it. So let's take a look at that. So we're first going to do the clone stamp. Down here, we've got our image size. This is controlling the size of the brush. You can see if I use my scroll wheel, the brush gets bigger or smaller. I could also come over here and slide this to make it bigger or smaller. You can also use the bracket keys next to the letter P. So the left bracket makes it smaller, the right bracket makes it bigger. The feather is just like when we were using the feather in the brush up here. That is the second line. That's softening your edge or helping to blend it in. This is something that you're going to want to do when you do this, or you're going to see exactly where it was. So if we increase the feather, it's going to have more of a blend from 100% out to 0. So we'll go ahead and try it right there to start with. Opacity means when you clone something out, do you want to clone it out 100% or 50% or 3%? And I'll show you what that looks like. So what I'm going to do first is basically make my brush just a little bit bigger than the item that I want to remove, which is this telephone line. We're using the clone stamp brush. I'm going to come over here. And I could just click and drag, but it's kind of hard sometimes to drag and draw a straight line, even though I did a pretty good job. And you can see it removed it. But right in here, you can see that edge where it didn't do such a great job. So I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. Another way to do a straight line, which is easier, is you can come up here to the beginning point. So it could either be here or here. It doesn't make a difference. We'll just do this one from here. You're going to left click and it makes 1 point. Then you're going to hold the shift key down. Okay. Don't let it go. And then go to the other end point and then left click. And it will basically draw a straight, perfect line to help clone it out. And you can see it did an okay job. Can I see this? Yeah. Could we lower the opacity of that a little bit to help blend it in? But then we can see the line. We can increase the feather to help blend it in and see what we can do. The fact is, Lightroom's cloning capabilities really aren't that great. If you have the option and know how to do this in Photoshop, it is far better than Lightroom. I actually never use the cloning tools here at all. So that's the clone. So it's just taking one spot and replacing it with another. And you can see it did a pretty good job here at the edges. Do I need to come here and clean this up? Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit reset. The healing brush works a little bit different. So we're going to come in here. We're going to click this spot and then I'm going to hold that shift key and then we're going to go over here. And remember, that's reading the areas around it. So you can see what it did is it picked up some of this tree and it brought some of that black as like a smear into the image. And right here, it's got this weird highlight and it's bringing this in this way. I actually prefer the clone stamp over the healing brush. But if you do one and it doesn't work so good, try the other. That's the best thing you can do. And don't keep going over things because you're just going to mess them up. Don't feel free if it doesn't work the first time to hit reset and try it over again. This little button right here will turn it on and off. So that will let you remove it. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and hit reset. And that is your clone and healing brush. If it's little teeny things like something like this leaf, it's most likely going to do a really good job. But when you get into something complex, you're going to be far better off by going into Photoshop and creating a layer. And you have a whole lot more tools as far as cloning and removing objects inside of that program than you do in this. Well, that is the crop tool, clone stamp tool, the healing brush, and red eye reduction inside of Adobe Lightroom Classic.